I've been seeing a lot of questions. I also have some groups that I actually mentor. I have some mentees that are, some graduates who are hoping to come into the United States or go outside the country to, mostly from Nigeria, so they want to go out and they're like having a lot of questions. Most of the questions you have in your mind, I'm going to be answering it even without you asking. So basically the section for me is going to be like answering those questions that I've met or have been asked, or so that we can hit the nail on the head. So now, and don't forget, I'm going to be focusing on the United States. That is where I am, and that is where I know so much about their graduate school, their graduate study. So we have other people coming, from Europe, probably from France, or like maybe UK if you want to go there. But I'm going to be, focusing my own talk on the United States. So to begin with, most people from Nigeria usually ask that if you have HND, can you come to the United States for a graduate study? The answer is yes. And people also ask that it's always difficult for people in social science, humanities, for them to come abroad, specifically to the United States for their graduate study, probably for their masters or their PhD. You can come to the United States for you to have your MSc or your PhD. So the question should be that if you have HND, can you come to the United States? The answer is yes, you can come, but it's more harder. BSc, it's more harder. Not that you cannot come, you will come on the fully funded. In fact, this fall, I had like 2 to 3 mentees that came for a direct PhD from HND to PhD directly in the United States, who are my direct mentees. So it's easy, very easy for them, but you need to put in a lot of work than BSc or that will do. But the fact that you want to know if it's possible, yes, very possible. And then you will always ask that, oh, what do I want to do next? Now I'm out of the university, I have a BSc and I want to know what to do next. Am I supposed to go for MSc? Am I supposed to go for PhD? Now it depends on whatever you want to do. If you want to go into the industry, you feel like you are a programmer or you are a scientist, and then you feel like you don't want to go into doing research, you don't want to go into like being a faculty, or you don't want to you don't really have flair for like teaching, generally speaking, like you don't want to be based on it. I'm not saying teaching assistantship or like something, but you don't want to see that as a future for yourself, then I think you should probably focus on getting MSc. But if you feel like, oh, I like writing, most people that are in PhD program, they like writing, they write fine even from their undergrad. So if you feel like faculty job is the one you want for you, or you like learning so much, you like reading so much, right? Like you have a broad mind to reading. Let me just say that. I don't even know. Probably you can still have a PhD and still go to the industry, but you are going to be reading for 3, 4, 5 years at length, and you won't get tired. You will be so motivated in that program. Then I think you should come for PhD. Now, in the United States, it's easier to get into a PhD program than to get into a MSc program. I know that you are thinking like, oh, why? Because MSc is lower. So the idea is this: the universities here, they want students. The United States is bringing students from Nigeria, from Africa, all over the world, because they want you to come here and do research. So if you are coming here to come and have a master's program, don't forget that most of the master's program, even from Nigeria, is filled with courses. You are going to spend the first 1.5 years doing pure courses, and then you just only have little time for your research. So people that come here for MSc, it's possible to get it, but it's more difficult than PhD. If you put in your effort for PhD now, you come here next fall, you'll be United States next fall. Right? If you take necessary exams, I'm going to get to that. But MSc also, if you feel like MSc is easy for you to get into the industry here, if you have MSc in the United States. So people that have MSc, by the time you finish those 2 years, they value you because they know that you have taken some technical courses, and then all of the jobs in the United States doesn't need you to have experience. It's not like Nigeria. Nobody wants you to have experience here. Whatever, if you even get an internship, they even consider people in masters for internship here faster, because you know that you have done technical courses and then you quickly come over and you will get job from the masters. But if you feel like, oh, I want to be in a program, I want to be in learning environment for several years, 4-5 years, don't consider MSc at all. Apply for direct PhD. It's possible here in the United States. For somebody like me, I came here, I've had like almost 5 scholarships or fully funded offers in the United States, even without putting my MSc in the application. So it's very, very possible. So they are actually mostly interested in people that will come and do research for a very, very longer period of time in the United States. So the idea, by now you should be able to classify yourself into whether MSc or PhD. Then you sort yourself out on that end. You now know what you want and what you want to put into it. But if you are coming for MSc, just 2 years, you can get a placement. I've seen a lot of people finish their MSc for just 2 years and they're now in the industry working with big companies here. But just know that to get into that program is not as easy as you coming for PhD. Now, leaving that aside, when you want to start your applications and you feel like, okay, now I want to do MSc or I want to come for PhD, most guys will say, okay, let me come for PhD because I told you you don't need a master's. Your BSc is all what you need to apply for a PhD here in the United States. Nobody is asking you to have a master's. Nobody will ask you. Most of the schools, 90% of the schools here, although some departments usually say, or let me say some programs, let me just call it that way, some programs usually say, when you see some advert, you see MSc in this, MSc in that, MSc in that, and they are coming from the United States, there are positions coming from the United States. It happens like that because maybe probably what you want to do, that particular advert or that particular funding needs you to have done all the courses in your master so that you can easily focus on the research when you come. Maybe you just do 2 courses and then you do all of the periods, all of what you have left, your time left will be devoted to research. That's why you are saying that. It doesn't mean that they are saying it's a compulsory. Not all programs do that here, but 90%, I'm so rest assured, you'll get to do direct PhD. If you want to start your application, there are a lot of schools here in the United States. There are some schools here, we call them How 1, and there are some schools we call them How 2. There are some schools also we call them How 3. Those ones, I don't know the schools under How 3 because I've never searched it. But How 1, How 2, How 3 is just in a way of classifying schools here in terms of like the quality of the research, the quality of the papers, the quality of the research, and the progress they are making, particularly to research from that institution. So there are some schools that you see, and these ones are different from like Ivy Leagues. Ivy Leagues are schools like Harvard. Those are like top schools, and that Ivy League actually means a particular sport league. You can search that one out and know what Ivy League means. So those schools are mostly private schools. They are big schools, but you don't even need to get into Ivy League school. You don't need to be in Ivy League school. If you get into Ivy League school, good for you, right? But if you just want to escape and just want to be like, let me just get into a good program, there are better programs in the United States here. In the United States here, we have more than roughly 5,000 schools. Yeah, roughly 5,000 schools. Roughly that. So there are so much schools that you can apply to. So much that people make 50 applications, 60 applications, and then they will probably get 2 funding. So the key to this is the more schools you apply to, the better chances you have, because you are going to have a lot of rejections from not being meeting the minimum requirements, and then before you know it, you realize that some program will also consider you. So when you are considering the United States, have at the back of your mind that you need to apply to as many schools as possible. 30 schools. The last girl that came abroad to the United States with her HND, she never wrote GRE. I'm talking about this fall. She just resumed this fall. She never wrote GRE. She didn't have TOEFL, no high ETS, and she came abroad. And I'm not sure she has a paper, no paper. And she came abroad on a fully funded PhD program. That was because of she was able to defend her bachelor's she was able to defend her bachelor's project, which she did on her bachelor's. So if you are coming for a PhD here and you have bachelor's, you first need to go back and dust your projects. Probably you want to publish that project that you did in your bachelor's, or you want to make it, if you don't publish it, you want to make it better. Like when I say, I'm not saying you should go back and redo it, I mean you want to go back into looking at what you did, how is this supposed to be done, read papers, because now you are coming for a PhD program. It's good to have papers before you come further for when I say papers, I mean published papers, because it's good for you to be able to stand out, because now applications is getting like so competitive, right? But it's not important that you get. I've seen people who don't have one single paper and they are here. And it's not compulsory that you actually publish, you have a paper before coming to the United States, right? A published paper. But there's no route to do this thing. There's no single way to do this, but you just need to make yourself stand out amidst others. If you have paper, good. If you don't have a paper, good. If you are in a very tight position that you cannot publish your undergrad projects, no problem. You can still give it a try. And a lot of people ask me about this question again. What about the English proficiency from Nigeria? TOEFL and high ELTS, we don't need that too yet. Some program will ask you, but a lot of program will not ask you. 70% of program, I have never wrote TOEFL, I never wrote high ELTS, and nobody has ever asked me. The schools that asked me, I never visited their website again. There are a lot of schools here. Some program will be asking you, go and do, they like TOEFL, right? Go do TOEFL, submit your TOEFL, but we can you please mute, check your phone, check your system, please mute yourself so I can hear me clearly for those who are trying to like get these points. So, like I was saying, you don't need TOEFL to come to the United States. You don't even need to write any English proficiency. What I just did and what we all have been doing, I'm talking about the United States specifically now. Some program will be asking you to write TOEFL. People wrote it. I did not. There's another one they call Duolingo. People wrote it. I did not. Right? I did not write it. And I've had almost 5-6 fully funded. So now, I did not write the TOEFL. I did not write IELTS. I did not write Duolingo. But if you have the capacity of writing that, go ahead. Don't forget, this is just like a battlefield. We all want to make ourselves competitive. There are other ways I have made myself competitive, and I felt like I don't need to write TOEFL. For example, I wrote GRE. When I wanted to come abroad, I was like, how can I make myself stand out? Because I was applying for a medical physics program, and I wanted to come for medical physics. You can easily get into like physics, but anything that has to do with medical, medical physics is very hard to get in not even in the United States yet. Anything medicine. So I had to write GRE to be able to strengthen up my application. Okay, so when I wrote the GRE, I felt like I don't need to write TOEFL or I don't need any English proficiency again. I just went to my institution where I had my BSc, and I went to the department directly. I told them I need English proficiency certificate, telling just a state, like a single letter signed by I think the HOD will sign it. I don't know if the dean has to sign, but they know how they do these things. When you get them and you hack your HOD, HOD is mostly the person that handles these things. It's just a letter showing that, oh, this person, we know this person. All the courses this guy took was done in English. He's speaking, listening, everything is fine. Just like an attestation to tell them that, okay, this guy, and they know these things. They know that in Nigeria we speak very good and fluent English. They know, because most of us coming here, they don't have any issues with us like speaking, so they know that we don't have any issues with that. But some schools will still ask you. I will advise you, because of the way things are in Nigeria, any school asking you for TOEFL or any IELTS or what you call it, don't go to that school. Leave them as. If you have money to do it, please write. Fingers aren't equal. If you have money to write it, right? But I will advise everyone coming, especially science guys to take GRE. Why? The graduate record examination, it's over 340. Try to get above 300. The reason is because most people applying for the United States are from countries like India, from Pakistan, from Australia, from all over the world. These guys have their GRE even before they finish their BSc. It's just like it's out there. It's just like you going for NYSC in Nigeria. It's a normal thing for them to sit for GRE as soon as they finish their BSc, right? So you don't want to compete with somebody who has 330 upward out of 340, and you don't even have that. You don't have published papers. You don't have anything. You just want to apply, and you keep getting rejections, right? So my advice is, if you have the resources, instead of taking TOEFL, taking IELTS, don't take those English proficiency. Get the letter and then take GRE. Try to ace the GRE. I've seen people who don't. I've told you before. This is not a one-way road. US application, or I think that should also be the similar case to other applications around the world. This is not a single route. If people who don't have GRE are already here doing the same program I'm doing, right? Even doing more tough program that I am doing, they don't have GRE, they don't have TOEFL, and they got here. The idea is you need to strengthen up yourself. If they don't have GRE, what do they have, right? What do you have? The question is, what do you have? The question you should be asking yourself now is, what do I have to be able to say, okay, now I have a bachelor's? Is it papers you have? Is it courses? There's something we call MOOC. MOOC, they are massive open learning courses. Massive open learning courses. Those are courses that you can take from Coursera, from EDX, that has to do with the research you want to go and do, the masters you want to go and do, that has to do with the course you want to go and do, right? What do you have to be able to stand out? What do you have to be able to make yourself competitive in the program you are applying to? Thousands of people are applying, hundreds of people are applying, right? And you want to be able to say that, oh, this program, I'm very, 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 very competitive enough to be in this program. Then you need to show it. How do you show it? I was telling you about MOOC. You can write it down. You can check what that means. It's just like a massive online short courses whereby you can take on Coursera. I have had several on Coursera, like 5 or 6, which are actually free. If you get on Coursera and you see a particular course that has money, like you need to pay, go to request for financial waiver. They will waive you. You will take that course. They will give you a certificate. You will keep the certificate and put that course on your CV. Those courses also go a long way on helping you. And then I've told you about the GRE. If you have money and you are a science person, if you are a commercial person, I think what you guys write is GMAT, which is quite similar to that. So a lot of people, like me, I just went back to my department. I had the letter of English proficiency signed by the HOD. I don't know if somebody else signed it. I'm not sure, but I know that the HOD actually signed it. It was a short statement, and that was accepted in all of the universities I've been applying to. None of them, no university has ever rejected it for me. Most of the educationists and activists we have on Twitter, on LinkedIn, like Olumuyiwa, all these guys that have been clamoring for people, for universities. I've been writing to universities for them to be able to waive English proficiency for Nigerians, for Africans. You understand? So with that, we have more schools subscribing to waiving English proficiency. So I receive a lot of messages. That, oh, the English proficiency, that is it compulsory? I want to write TOEFL. I want to write. If you are coming to the United States, I think you should just forget English proficiency. And instead of, if you have the money for English proficiency, you better put that money into writing GRE. If you are a science person, that's my own personal opinion about this issue of coming abroad to the United States. You better write GRE, because GRE has, I told you before, it has English section, verbal, quantitative, which will be, if you are able to ace it very well, it will be able to, you can, and supporting it with your English proficiency letter, you'll be able to apply. Now, that one aside, the next thing I'm going to now is, what is the minimum requirement that you should be preparing down if you want to apply? What do you need to put down? Number one, you need to be able to put down your certificates. Some people apply with what's it called, statement of result, like a statement, but I don't know if they accept that. When I was applying, I already have my certificate, so I wouldn't want to tell you this and they won't accept it from you. But I know what I've been using so far is my certificate from the school. As soon as you finish, by the time you are done with service, you can go back and request for that. I don't know if they accept transcripts. Some other guys that are coming will tell you if they accept that, but get your certificate, get a transcript. The transcript I was using, let me explain how to get your transcript from Nigeria and get it over to schools. Again, some schools will be asking you to send your official transcript to them, which will cost you. In my school, I think it's about 60,000 naira now in my school in Nigeria. If I want to send, and if my school in Nigeria want to send my transcript, official transcript, international transcript to a school abroad here, they are going to send it just once. And for that one time, I have to pay. It's around 50 to 60,000. Are you getting what I'm saying? 50 to 60,000 naira, and they will only send it to the school that I write for them. Maybe, for example, I say Michigan State University. That's for the university I want to send my transcript, which I'm applying to. They will send to that particular school, but they will send to them, which is an international school. They will send the official one, PDF, or I don't know how they will send it, in a particular secure platform to send it. Then the school will receive it. I have never done that before. That is a waste of money, a total waste of money. I have never done that. How do I do it? So yeah, I know it's around 50,000 upwards. So schools varies, a lot of schools, I don't know how much, but that's just what I know about that. So moving forward now, how was I able to go through that, and how are the other scholars as well? How are they able to move ahead of the transcript? What we do is this: we go back to our university, we request for a local transcript from them. We have local and we have international. I've just explained international to you, whereby the school we send directly is from that one won't get to your hand. You won't even get to see it. It's just a secure platform from your university for undergrad directly to this university we're applying to. You just send them the link or something. So that one is that. For the local one, you go to the university, you go to your what office? Registrar, or just go there. Go to your registrar office or something, then you ask them for your transcript, then you get a local transcript. I know that they don't give local transcripts directly to students, like hand to hand. I know Nigeria for that. Here they do that. You have access to your transcript every day. As soon as you are finishing the course, you'll be getting unofficial transcript on your portal. But they don't do that in Nigeria. What they do is they don't give you. They tell you to bring a particular complaint, the email address or address of a particular complaint that needs to get that transcript. You get me now? So they will now send it to that complaint. In my own case, that time I think I was 7, so I just used the institution. A particular institution, you can send it. It can be school, it can be complaint. So you send it to the school. You leave the address of a particular institution or complaint where they need the transcripts. If that would be in Nigeria, you can now go there and then you get it from them. So those ones we just give you the paper. The paper is going to be paper. They will send it maybe using UPS or DHL. So when you get it, you scan it into PDF neatly, nicely, and then you convert it to PDF, and that's what I use. And that's what I've been using. So when I send it to schools say, okay, submit your, when I want to apply to a particular school, I get on the website and I check, do they need unofficial or official? Some schools need official. I almost submitted an application. For example, Colorado State University here in the United States was asking for, I wanted to apply for medical physics there. They call it logical health sciences. They were asking for, I was almost done, and they were asking for my international transcript. Then I stopped. I didn't move an inch from that because I don't have the money. I know the implication of that. Just stop. Don't forget I told you there are closely thousands of 5,000, more, even close to that, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 universities here that you don't even know that are existing here in the United States. So as soon as I see that you're requesting for national transcript where I have to pay, I stop. But most of the schools, what do they do? Is what I've just told you now. You take it from where they will take it to. You convert to PDF, then you scan it nicely. There will be a front page there where they will write to the place like, we are sending this transcript to you. Remove that one, make it nice. Don't touch it at all. No pen, nothing on it. It will be signed and sealed like that. Put it into a PDF and start putting it anywhere they ask you for unofficial transcripts. Most of the schools will be asking you for just your unofficial. They won't ask you for international transcript directly from your school. They will still ask you when you get here. Like when I got here, they start telling me. When I got here, they now start telling me, oh, you need to send your international transcripts to be able to be sure that okay you have. And then I even had to tell them that okay, when I get my stipend, it's very easy. Just tell them when I get my stipend, and I'll order for it. You guys will get it. I'm already here, right? So that is the way it's been done. But you, as you are applying, you will get school that will be asking you for international transcripts. Don't mind them. Move away from that, right? So now you know what you need to. You need your transcripts. You need your BSc certificates. I've told you about the courses you can take that have to just get on there. You see, you know your field, microbiology, science. The particular research interest that you want to go for, you get on those LinkedIn. Even LinkedIn has courses. EDX has a lot of. Just go online, make Google your friend, check these things, and then send to them, write to them that you need a financial waiver. Then they can actually waive it, and you take those MMOC. Those things will be in your CV. For myself, I've been reviewing CV. I don't read SOP because I don't have the time. The time to read SOP is enough time to read a particular publication, a particular paper here. I'm on a PhD. I read paper every day. So I don't read people's SOP. So don't send me SOP. I'm begging. If you have a CV that you want me to vet, I leave myself for that. I help students, graduates to vet to comment on their CV to make it, because there's a format whereby your CV must be. It's not just this CV we use in Nigeria where we put our age, put the number of children we have, put this thing. So that's what I do personally. I just help people for free to just vet this. Let me now come to the final end of my talk before you start asking your question. The question is now this now. How do I apply? That is the question. I'm supposed to demonstrate this to you, but because of the time, we all are anybody comes to the United States to do MSc. I don't think I have to start showing you. You go here, you go here, you go here. This is just about. I wanted to show you guys how to do it, but if you are coming here, everything here is digitalized. So I don't think I have to be showing you. You will go to Google. You will search for this. No. I just changed my mind. So now, this is what you do. The best place to start from is Google. That same Google is where, if I want to do anything right now, I start from Google. Anything. I want to get anything right now, I can start from Google. Enter that Google. For example, let me not use sciences so that people in commercial will also benefit. You want to come here for accounting, for example. Let me take one rare course like international relations. You go online on Google, you search schools offering international MSc international relations in the United States. It will bring it down for you. You will see list of schools. You just be writing it down. You'll be saying rough. Google will be giving you rough information. You'll be seeing schools. You'll be showing you links. Write all the schools you see there. Put it down. Then you can now be entering. You can now be putting their names on that same Google. Let's say, for example, I'm in Purdue. You can say medical physics at Purdue. Medical physics at Purdue. It will be the site. You don't need to start asking anybody what is the link. Everything is basically online. If the link is correct, you will see for yourself. You will see nobody has to tell you that this is the correct website. This is not the correct website. You will see how you have been entering website. You have been using Facebook. You have been using LinkedIn. You will see how the website will be built. Like, this is the website. You will know that yes, I'm into the school website. Well arranged. When you get into there, the first place to go is, if you want to, by that time you will have decided I want to go for MSc or PhD. Don't forget that was what I started with. I'm not going back to that again. I've given you the criteria to select what to go for. You go there. What is the minimum requirement for MSc? You will see they will write in the MSc will do. The page is going to be well organized. Nobody should be telling you this is where to go. You will see everything you need there. The minimum requirement is what you should go for. I've told you, if you have BSc, you can come from direct PhD. For most schools will take that. Right? So next thing to do now is check the minimum requirement. What are they asking? Because you don't want to start putting effort into a school that is going to ask you that is not waiving English proficiency for Nigerians. There are still some schools. Because when you start and you are seeing some schools, that speaker told us you did not use it. You did not use it. Some schools will still ask you in this United States. But don't forget, I told you we have thousands here. So immediately you enter the website, maybe you have 30 schools listed for the international relation MSc that is offering the MSc, and you enter. Okay, yeah, I can see the link to the MSc. Don't apply yet. Check the requirement. Oh, I have this. I have my BSc certificate. I have my transcript. Then what they usually have, they can tell you maybe they want GRE or they don't want GRE. Nobody is asking for experience from you. No school will tell you to have 2 years experience or anything. People leave NYSC and they come there directly. No experience is needed, but if you have experience on your CV, it's an edge. Don't forget, the fight here is to be competitive. If you have experience and somebody who does not have experience at all, ask me, who would I choose? I will have somebody who has at least little writing experience, and your experience starts from your final year projects, because you are coming for school year. Your experience starts from your final year project. You can also go for, if you are coming for a PhD, go write this website down, findaphd.com. That's another website. Find a PhD. If you are coming for even if you are coming for MSc, use that same. Most of the program have MSc. Findaphd.com. It will take you there. You will just put your, just put your course, and you will start seeing schools, rough schools. Just list them down. This is not something easy. You have to put in all your attention, all your effort into this. When you get the list of schools, I'm going back to that because somebody asked me just now. That's a website that I usually use if you want to get the list of schools. Or if you don't even remember the website, go on Google. Google will show you. So get the minimum requirement from the school, and then see that, number one, some of you don't have GRE and you really want to force it that I don't have GRE, like the girl I told you who has HND. She does not have GRE and she's here. If you don't have GRE and you feel like, oh, I have first class, for example, I had first class and I still got GRE because I felt like that's not enough. So if you feel like I have first class and I don't want to have GRE, and there's something that I know, maybe there are some programming skills that have wasted my time. Maybe I know Python, I can use MATLAB, I know C++. Eventually those things you will come and learn it here. But if you have it and you feel like those things I've taken MOOC courses that are so much that can actually make me competitive, then fine. Put those things together. Everything is not about GRE. But some program will tell you that you need GRE. My department here will tell you they need GRE. How do we get the list of schools? I've said that over time. Go to Google. You will get that there. So now, when you enter that place, and then when you enter the website, the school website, and then you see the minimum requirement, and you see that these are things that I have, like on unofficial transcript, you have that. I've told you how to get that. Everybody should have that. You don't expect any school to wait that from you. You should be able to have that unofficial. If they're asking you for the official, run. Go to another school on the list you already have. So those you will now select. The list will now be reduced. Yeah, the list will now be reduced again. The schools will now be left with maybe like 20 or 30 schools out of like maybe 150 or that you have written before. Maybe 30 or 50 schools or 30. Those schools are now the schools that they probably, if you have GRE, let's say you have like me, that I got GRE before I started all these things. The schools I was left with were schools that were requesting for GRE, that were waiving English proficiency for Nigerians. Most schools are now doing it. Forget. So, like my guy was saying here, you don't have to be lazy about this. This has to be a lot of work, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of people. This is just one webinar. A lot of people are into this, talking about online. This, you should find time to go there and then learn about these things, right? So now, when you have those things and you see that the list has now been reduced, the next thing to do now is when you now start going to those schools and start applying to them. Now, there's something we call code emailing. Code emailing is just like I call it a way of double crossing and seeing the professor and talking to the professor before you are accepted. Most schools will tell you need to find the professor. Right, I wanted to apply to Georgia Tech. I applied there to Georgia Tech, but they were telling me I need a professor. All of the professor that I was code emailing. Code emailing is just like you writing an email to a professor that you want to join his lab, because here it's about joining of lab, joining of research group, and all that. So if you write somebody that, okay, professor, and if you ask me how do I get the email of the professor, I'm trying to answer all the questions that you might be asking me, so that I will just have a few questions to answer. How to get the email of the professor that you might want to send an email to, or how to know that the professor, everything is on the website. Keep scrolling, keep entering. Here we use faculty. Those are the terms that we use here that might want to confuse you. We use faculty. If you see faculty, it means that you are clicking on somebody's profile, you're going to the professor's profile. So when you click on it, if you want to see the CV of the professor, you see it. Show you the CV, show you what they are doing. If you feel like this professor in this particular school that I want to go to, these 2 or 3, they are doing what I want. They are doing what I love. Their email will be there. Nobody's hiding email here. the emails will be written there, and then you send an email to them. That email is just a code email to be able to talk to the professor. You can ask a professor questions like, do you have space in your lab, by first selling yourself. There's a format to that. So you need to meet with people, join groups. Smart has a group, I have a group. Most of these top guys you see talking about scholarship have a group. So join their group. So now when you code email the professor, questions you can ask them is, you send a general overview of yourself and what you want to do. Knowing that what you want to do is in line with what the professor is doing, you must have checked his profile, checked some few things about the man or the lady, and then you write the person that you want to join your lab. They will now tell you, some of them will tell you, like I was saying, in Georgia Tech, some of them told me, oh, I'm going to retire by December, I can't take more students now. Okay, no problem. And that person again, you might want to ask me again that, can I code email two persons that I'm seeing in the same department? Maybe Georgia Tech, I'm seeing one professor something. You can write them separately, but make sure that the message you are sending, the code email you are sending to them is this state. Don't send them copy and paste on it. Make sure that you read it very well. Don't just copy anything from ChatGPT and GPT and just send to them. Read very well. Make sure that it's unique. It's your own words, so that they won't just snub you. Most professors will not reply you. When you start sending many emails to them, they won't reply you. So, and a few will reply you. It's just like that. So the few that will reply you, they might just bang it on you that, oh, they don't have a space, or some of them will tell you apply. Most people, they don't need the professor to get into the department, so they will just tell you apply, right? So that is the code email. If you want to know more about the code email, I won't be talking much about that. You can go online on Google, what is a code email? Join groups. You need to join groups. Right. Now, let me now tell you about the packages for the United States. That is the end of my own section before you start asking is it a scholarship? Will they give you money? Will they send you money that you should come? Or will they, what they will do for you is, if you have decided to apply for a master's, they will, here in the United States, they usually waive your tuition. Complete waiver for maybe like 2 years or like 4 years for your PhD. They will waive it, and then some part of your health insurance will be taken care of, and then you'll be given what again did they give us? They will be given a position, like a work that you work in. Like in Nigeria, we call it work and study, right? So it's just like that here as well. That's most of it. We call that one graduate assistantship, and it can come in 2 ways. Can be like teaching, or like can be in research. Yeah, my time is less than 10 minutes, so I have to round up. So the graduate teaching and the graduate research, you can go look at that one. Even from the name, you know what you're going to be doing. So, and they'll be giving you a stipend. The stipend is what you're going to be using to take care of yourself, to pay all those small deals, like international deals and all of these things. And then that is where you're going to be getting the money to, and you'll be studying your research. Most, like for myself now, I'm research assistant, whereby I do research in the particular lab, and the research I'm doing is still my own PhD. It's still going to be put together as my PhD. So it's not as if I'm going outside to do some special work in the night or something, you know. So it's still my own work that I'm working towards, but I'm working for a professor, right? So if you don't code email a professor, they might select you. If you code email a professor, code emailing just like double crossing, and just talking to the professor first, even before you apply.
Okay, so we have a question here. It says, what are the advantages of a lecturer here in Nigeria applying for a PhD in the US? The advantages is this. Number one, you have papers that you have published. I assume so. You have a very good experience. I told you this is just a way of being competitive, right? You just to make yourself distinct. You are coming here to do research. So think about it. The research you are coming here to do. If somebody now see that you have been doing that same research somewhere, of course they will prefer you. So you have the conferences attended, papers that you have written, a lot of projects that you have been able to handle. But I don't think it's because for me, I have just like 2 papers when I was applying for the PhD, and then I was still selected, right? So it's just about overall, right? Overall. So I know a lecturer who just came this year as well. When I was telling the lecturer, he was my mentee. When I was telling the lecturer in Nigeria, I think he was on his PhD already.
He was starting his PhD in Nigeria and was lecturing in Nigeria. And I told him, you have all of these papers, like 16, 17 papers. I think it's up more than 10. And you don't need to write GRE. And then he didn't write GRE, and now he's here. So that is it. You have more edge, but if you feel like you don't have the money for GRE, you can put up your stuff together, because you are coming here for PhD. They will welcome you so well. The next question.
I have applied to West. Can I send the unofficial transcript from West to school?
Thank you.
If the school also requesting for my official transcript, can I contact West instead of going back to my school?
Sorry to say, West official transcript is a waste of time and waste of money. If you have the money, go for it. I never did West. I don't even know the website for West. It's a waste of money. West for what? It's a very, very waste of money. The idea is this. Some schools will be asking you for West. Some people don't know what West is here. West is just like evaluating your same result, that same transcript that you have had, to put it on the level of like same transcript here and see the courses you have done, tick them up, and give you a new transcript from West. It's a total waste of money. When you see West, move to other schools. That's some speakers might also give you that. But for me, knowing the current state of Nigeria and knowing how people are struggling to get other things done, paying for West is a total waste of money. Moving from there and go to other schools that I don't need West. My school here does not take West from me. They didn't take TOEFL for me. They didn't ask me to. The only thing they took for me was GRE. And my transcript, which is unofficial, they have not seen. I have not even sent them official till now, and I'm still going to send them. So West, some schools will be asking you West. It's a waste of money. The next question, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for the session. Okay, actually, the question I wanted to ask before was what I dropped. But you said the West is not important for most schools in the US. I had MD and HND, so I don't know. From the advice I got, they told people to need to do West, that it's better. So
yeah. So let me cut it from
schools
there.
In the United States. Okay.
Yeah, Emmanuel, please let me cut it from there. If you have HND, you must do West. I thought you had BSc. Most people thinking of doing that. If you are having HND, there's no any other way. You have to do West. Nobody recognizes HND here unless you do West, and that West makes you equivalent to a BSc over here. So if you have HND, go on and do West. Thank you.